what we do, both our client-facing work, the work that we do for our clients, and our cultural work, and both feed off one another and both are really important. So I'm Andrew Chetty, I'm production director at Ditto. What that means is I look after the output of the studio. So depending on where it is, all of the project managers or the producers will live within my team and will kind of look after all the projects and the output of the studio. So that's where I sit within the studio. So who we are. Ditto is a communications agency and a consultancy practice dedicated to tech, finance and media sectors. We are a B2B communications, we create B2B communication campaigns allowing for our clients to sell or launch new products or services as part of campaigns. So I'm going to talk to you about business as well as creativity, and I'm going to give you examples of what we do and why we do it and who we do it for. Because without our clients, without our business, we wouldn't be able to work, regardless of how fantastically creative and amazing our projects are and the work that we do is. So I'm going to talk to you about some aspects of our business, and I will try to keep that business description down to a minimum, but I won't be shy to say that that's how I will talk within this presentation. So I just want to go back to what I said. Ditto is a communications agency. I also forgot to say this might be interactive. Does everybody understand what a communications agency might be or is? Hands up if you do. Excellent. Hands up if you're not sure. Hands up if you don't know. Fantastic. That's good.
Hands up who doesn't know how to put their hand up.
So we're a communications agency and a consultative practice. Does anybody understand what a consultative practice is? Hands up if you do. Hands up if you do. Fantastic. That's some people. Hands up if you're not sure. And if you don't know. Fantastic. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk you through what Ditto does and answering some of those questions, because at the end of it I would like you to have at least an understanding of some of those terms, because when you leave college or university, you will enter into a professional environment and companies that deal with those sectors. I would have said there's a high percentage of you doing that, will do that. And I think what's really important is the students and graduates that come into Ditto and the businesses that I work in have at least an understanding of those types of environments and that type of language. You don't need to know the ins and outs of it and how it's done, but just having an understanding, because that will help you. That will help you in those environments. Does that make sense? Okay. So just before I launch into all of that and give you lots of explanations, I'm going to give you a little bit of fun. How we started.
Ditto was asked to contribute an original work for performance at London's world-renowned Roundhouse as part of the Short Circuit Festival. Inviting a diverse collection of established and emerging artists, Ditto produced its first live collaborative performance piece, a one-time-only celebration of the human condition. 21 pieces of text, lyrics and poetry inspired collaborations between filmmakers and DJs, animators and musicians, which were performed before a sold-out and enraptured audience. Even amongst such successes, the exciting new collaboration between Mike London and Richard Norris stood out. Their creation, Hope, was awarded Best Music Video at the prestigious London Independent Film Festival. Inspired by the Roundhouse project, Ditto embraced a request from Latitude Festival to create a show for the BAFTA-sponsored film and music arena. Ditto invited the Latitude audience to contribute by submitting work on the themes of enchantment and disenchantment. The results were woven into Ditto's body of work for a 1-hour show. 7 acts, 11 songs, 18 supporting videos, and 1 spellbound audience. The relaunch of the Tabernacle offered Ditto the chance for one last collaborative show based on the themes of sin and virtue. Yet more new artists joined the Ditto fold for a night of inspiration and celebration. With one last hurrah, the project came to a close, having created collaborative works of vision and passion, and entertained thousands.
Ditto came out of an arts collaboration. It was a multi-platform collaboration that happened over those 3 events. Collaboration primarily in terms of the creation of content between image makers, sound, and writers, poets. Those were then performed live and also shown as film, shown as films. On top of that, there was an amount of work that was done about broadcast, streaming it over the web, and creating an appointment to view, as well as creating and engaging contributors from the various hosts from their customer base or from their audience base. And so what does all that mean? That means that we went out and spoke to their audience and got their audience interested in what we were doing, got them to submit ideas, got them to submit content, and integrated that into the shows. All of the 3 hosts and commissioners were all creative: Roundhouse, Latitude Festival, and Tabernacle. And so they already knew that their customer base was of interest, would be interested in what we were doing, and we got them and shaped them and put them into the show, and it was a great success. So what came out of that was something very interesting. We had what turned into our client, who came and saw what we were doing and saying, "This is absolutely fantastic. Can you come and do it in our company?" And it was, "Of course we can, but you don't want us to make kind of art pieces." And they said, no. What we're interested in is you taking that engagement strategies and the way that you put it across multi-channels and do that for our customer base. So rather than taking creative audience and getting them to make things and put them into a live show, it was, how do you engage an audience with material that was distributed either online or at an event, and get them engaged, get them involved, and keep doing that over maybe a 6-month period. So that was where we took a slight change from an arts collaboration into a more commercial organisation. Does all that make sense? So that's a little bit of history of Ditto, a little bit of background of it. Within Ditto, we have a number of teams. We have an editorial team, we have a graphic design team, we have a digital design team, we have video and animation, tech, and production. So I just want to that's the teams that make up Ditto, that facilitate the creation and the engagement with our clients. So I just want to quickly zip through that. Does everybody understand what an editorial team is? What it might be? So that is a team that will do research, will do all the writing, that will facilitate the projects that we undertake. So those may be script writers, those may be brand engagement, but they all live within that sector that is called editorial. Those are people who are very good at typing and very good at writing. Graphic design. Does anybody know what a graphic design team is?
Yes.
Good. Good. So we have a graphic design team who are making stuff, and now you will see stuff as we get into case studies. You'll see examples of our work as we get into the case studies. We have a graphics design team that are creating work graphics for across all our projects. So the obvious stuff is magazines, print, physical print. There's some magazines that we produce. I'll go back up here. These are some magazines we produce. They're up here. Please take one at the end. But the graphic designers also have a role in all the video work that we make and all the animation work that we make. How? So when we create videos, when we create animations, it consists of lots and lots of kind of animators, but animators that use graphics to as maybe a starting point. So the animators may also kind of do the designing, but the two teams live together in the creation of the animated videos. And again, it will become very clear when I show you some examples of how that works. Digital design. God, teeth in backwards. Digital design. Does everybody know? Where's interactive media? Does everybody know what digital design means? Yeah? God. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Excellent.
Is it that different from graphic design?
It is that different from graphics design. So digital design will look after the creation of any websites that we make, the creation of any web apps that we make. We'll look after all the interactive media. And although it does have a graphic design element to it, the two skill sets are not very different, but are specialist enough to require two different teams. Of course, they will always cross over, and they will feed one another. But the interactive media interactive media is so important; it needs specialist knowledge. Simply in the skills needed to build things in, whether it's built in HTML5, for example, it's not necessarily a skill that a graphic designer might have. Video and animation. So this is a very, very big department. I'm going to show you lots of video here. I'm going to kill you with video. But it's not exclusive to the. So don't. I'm going to show you lots of video, but video is just a relatively small part. But for the purpose of this lecture, it's an easy way of illustrating the work that we do. So video and animation. So that's kind of as you would expect. We create videos and we create animations. And sometimes those animations and those videos are the same thing. So that means they will have actors in them, or they will be more infographic based. Does everybody understand what infographics means? Yeah, fantastic. Infographics is a good technique that we use to allow our clients to communicate very complex bits of information. And again, I'm going to show you some examples of what those complex bits of information are. We have a tech department. Everybody understands what a tech department is, but in our case, our tech department looks after the building of primarily the building of our iPhone, iPad, and Android apps. Not exclusively, but that's the main chunk of it. And in a couple of weeks, we will let you know of quite an exciting addition to the Apple Store that will come online. And then there is the kind of lowly part of the organisation, which is production, and that's the bit that I look after. So what we do is we just make sure that everybody is doing it on time, to budget, to the client's brief. So it's a very important part of the process, but on the whole it sits behind the creatives, and sometimes I feel like everyone's mother. Yes. Sometimes I wish I didn't feel like everybody's mother, but sometimes I feel like everybody's mother. Just making sure everything is happening. Does Is that clear? Does everybody understand that?
Yeah.
Fantastic. I want to go back carry on. Sorry, I was going to go back, but I'm going to carry on to what we do. Okay, so I'm going to come back to what I spoke about right at the beginning, which is what Ditto is: a communications agency, a consultancy practice dedicated to tech, media, finance. I just want to take these things apart. Communication agency, as you may kind of understand, is an agency that allows for the creation of communication assets and collateral. So that's the making of items that will be used in a campaign or a campaign to communicate something out. A consultancy practice is where you go in and work at a strategic level, at a board level, at a director level, and you will work with them to strategically place or do some strategic thinking to allow them to do some do some work. So if I give you that in the context of Ditto, we will go in at a strategic level to work with a director, a CEO, a director of a company, or a CTO, which is and we will work with them because what all our clients are usually doing, they are usually working towards creating a B2B campaign, communication campaigns that will sell or launch new products or services. So B2B, does everybody understand what B2B means?
Yes.
Business to business. So Coca-Cola is business to consumer. So everybody in this room is a consumer. So that's Coca-Cola sell it to us as a business to consumer. And that's a very, very particular way of doing work. Ditto works not exclusively, but on the whole, as at a business-to-business level, which means that businesses are selling to other businesses. And that's a very, very different way of doing work and creating communication campaigns to allow that to happen. The main thing is that when it's a business-to-consumer, it is one business to many people, so that the channels of distribution would be the obvious media channels, which are newspapers, TV, social media. It's one to many. While with a business to business, it's one to a few, because there may be only 10 or 20, which in terms of engagement is a smaller number, companies that the businesses are wanting to sell to. So we help them create business-to-business communication campaigns to allow them to launch or launch services and products, new services and products. Does that make sense? Yeah? So, interactive part. Who knows what a consultancy practice is? Was anybody listening? Was anybody listening? Was anybody listening? You charge a day rate. Exactly. But you're not employed by the company. You're going in to do a specific bit of strategic work. Okay, fantastic. So the things that we build as part of communication campaigns. So I'm going to again. This is the bit of the talking, and then we'll move into a bit of show and tell. The things that we build things that are called pitch books. Does everybody know what a pitch book is? So a pitch book would be something that a document, 9 times out of 10, something electronic like a PowerPoint. And if you've got a PowerPoint or a keynote presentation, and it's a presentation that the salespeople will use to talk to the to their customers or to their clients. It's a document containing information about the products that they're selling. We create presentations, which is slightly different. We create brochures. Does everybody understand what a brochure is?
Yes.
Yeah. So you've seen them everywhere. They very much live in a consumer world. We create press, articles and adverts. Everybody understands what that is.
Yes.
We create white papers. Do you know what a white paper is? This man does. Does anybody over here? A white paper. A white paper is a short bit of intelligence that a company might... Sorry?
Hopefully.
Hopefully. A short bit of intelligence that a company might want to publish to show that they are thought leaders in their field. So it may be a 4 to 6 page document that they can distribute, which means that they can either distribute by emailing it out or giving it out at a conference or tweeting about it. They can distribute to show that they are thought leaders within their sector. So that's what we create, white papers. We also create videos. Everybody knows what a video is. We create web apps and we create native apps. Does everybody understand what a web app is and what a native app is?
Yes.
No? And a web app is, well, somebody tell me what a web app is.
It's when the primary app is located on the server, not on the client's machine.
Yeah, it's really technical.
Web browser.
Quite simply, it's a website.
It's a web browser for mobile.
Excellent. And what's a native app?
Native app is everything what is on client's machine. So Microsoft Word, for example, is native app.
Angry
Excellent.
Birds.
Does everybody understand that? You didn't hear it. Sorry, could you just... I'll get you to stand up here if you don't say it. Could you just repeat yourself, because your colleagues on this side...
I know, a native app is just like a normal app that you can find in the App Store that is made just for the app. I mean, it's not just a
For your
website that is...
Microsoft Word, for example.
On your hard drive.
Yeah.
Yep. Everybody good? Excellent. And then we have, as part of our tech lab, we have a number of games that we have built, which is, and we do games for a commercial environment, and we've started doing games for a non-commercial environment. But I'll give you, I can talk about that a bit later. So, I'm now going to talk a little bit about how we do this. I forgot to play you the video. That is our short show reel that we always show at the beginning of any pictures to describe what we do, or at the beginning of any conversations we have with a new client. It's a snapshot of all the work that we do and what I explained. Did it make sense in terms of what you were reading? Yeah? Excellent. So I'm going to go on and talk about a new agency model. What does this mean? Traditionally, agencies, advertising agencies in particular, traditional agencies and traditional clients, you normally had to work with a number of organizations. So a client would have a PR agency, a design agency, a graphic design agency, another agency writing brochures, another agency doing their videos, doing their event productions, and what that proves is that there's lots of conversations a client needs to have all of the time, and they have to manage all of these people. And what we've come in, which is quite unique for Ditto, we've come in board to create what we call a new agency model. And what does this mean? What we aim to do is we do not work as a retained business. We work on projects. We look, and does everybody understand what that means? So, does everybody understand what a retained business might be? Okay, so a retained business is when a client will contract for a long period of time, 3, 6, 12 months, 24 months, 36 months, will contract an agency to be dedicated to them, and they will pay a monthly fee to allow them to be retained and work exclusively on their bits of on their projects. We work on the opposite. We work as a project-based business, and this has proved very successful to us, but it has proved to be deeply disruptive to our peers, because we don't have to worry about, and we don't live and work around the media buying side of the business, and again, and so we don't need to worry about that part of it. Does everybody understand what media buying is? So when an agency will buy media for their client, which means that they buy advertising space, airtime, radio time, they will buy all of this information, all this time, and they will put a margin on it for themselves, and they will take that margin as part of their business model. Now, all of that has been put into question simply through the advent and the upsurgence of social media and the social media channels, but we don't engage in any of that. Yes. So that's the new business model that we deal in. The principles that we work to there are about 5 of them, and this governs all the work and all the campaigns that we produce. Power of video is one of the main ones, and that's really important for us. The building of communities and professional networks. The proof of concept and creating labs out of that. Thought leadership, personalization, and mobility. Those are the 5 principles that allow us to shape the work that we do. So I just want to very briefly explain what each of these are. After this talk, you can actually go on the Ditto website, and within our library section there is information around these principles that you can take away, download and take away. So the power of video is quite simple, just quite simple to understand. The power of being able, people watching things and being able to take things in rather than having to read stuff. It becomes much more of a direct and much more of an immediate medium, and it's something that governs us. And you can see this in the absolute kind of the way that YouTube and Vimeo and all the other channels are working, and how companies are using those channels to communicate their message, to advertise their message. Communities and professional networks. This is really, really important. More and more we have to engage with our client base to create communities that they want to communicate directly to. And another item in there is the personalization. So these communities, we then create personalized messaging and assets that go directly to those people. So those two live kind of hand in hand, making things very personal and going direct to a person to be able to say, Eva, this is a message directly for you. It's much more powerful than saying, just sending a kind of generic piece of print or piece of video even. Proof of concepts and labs. Do people understand what this means? Those working in software might understand this, but proof of concepts. This is when you place within the client's environment and work with the client to show that the solution will work for them, so that you're putting it directly into their working environment and showing within a proof of concept and lab situation that the bit of software or the service or the product will not only fit but work and do everything that it's meant to do. That might be saving costs, that might be more efficiency, that, you know, and so that proof of concept is really, really important. Thought leadership, what I explained before, the creation of intelligence and the distribution amongst your peers of that intelligence. It places your company and the individuals in a much better position. Does everybody understand that? Yeah? Personalization we've talked about, and mobility. Does everybody understand mobility? Mobility is the fact that you're bringing the three things you will never, I assume the three things you will never leave your house with will be your keys, your wallet or purse, and your mobile phone. And the real estate on the mobile phone is absolutely important. So what we always do is design for mobile first. We bring your message to the customer via mobility and not expect the customer to go to the message. Does that make sense? Okay. So, what Ditto does. We work in the finance, tech, and media sectors. Does everybody understand what that means? Finance, does everybody understand what the finance sector is? Yep. Banks, insurance companies, technology. Everybody understands what technology sector is. Yeah. The technology sector we primarily concentrate is the ones that are dealing with the financial sector. So there is a dovetailing of those two, and then media. So everybody understands media. All our work is highly confidential. A lot of our work is market sensitive. So that means if this information got out, it would affect the markets. So and so that's significantly important, which goes back to because we work at a strategic level. There are three types of companies that categories that we work for. We work for large multinational companies. Examples of that would be, this first example is not a multinational company, but it's a large financial institution. The Bank of England is one of our clients, or Barclays, or Thomson Reuters. Then we go to the next tier along, which is companies that are listed, large companies that are listed. And then the next tier along, which is small companies who are usually owner-managed. And I'll show you some examples of that as we go. And most of these companies, as I mentioned before, are looking to launch or sell new products. So that's a little bit of what Ditto does. And I would now want to move on to give you some examples of those projects and explain how it fits into how it fits in. Thomson Reuters. Does everybody understand? Does everybody know Thomson Reuters? Yes. Thomson Reuters is a billion-dollar business, a couple of billion-dollar business. It is based in the US, but spread across the world. Everybody knows Reuters News, so that's part of it. So that's a news agency that goes out and puts, like the BBC, and it's an international news agency, putting kind of reporters all over the world. They also have a number of other sections, including a section that is dedicated to the financial markets. And this is a project that we did with them.
2010 saw Thomson Reuters preparing to launch Electron, a new global initiative and their first hero brand. It was to be the biggest new product and services launch in the history of the business. They had a new set of services in hosting, direct market access and low latency networks, and in Electron, a name, but no way of articulating what it meant, or describing the shift change and opportunity it meant for the market. Ditto devised and executed a global campaign and communication strategy for Thomson Reuters Electron. The solution launched Electron to the markets, enabling Thomson Reuters to have an ongoing dialogue with their customers on the challenges facing their business. The approach was to describe Electron not as a noun or a scientific term, but as an adjective, a new way of thinking, a fresh approach. Dispensing with individual product names, focusing instead on the problems they solved. Ditto presented Electron's offerings within 3 key pillars: growth, speed, and freedom. These pillars ran globally across all creative work and communication. Ditto produced the Electron Global Launch event held in London, which dazzled press, analysts, and clients with a complete sensory experience. Contained within a one-off environment, specially constructed for the night, and harnessing the creativity of Europe's top emerging talent. The Electron themes were illustrated through interactive digital art and specially commissioned film and video. The dramatic climax, a Ditto-produced, boundary-pushing laser show and 3D projections experience, left the audience spellbound. The event clearly positioned Electron as a forward-looking, progressive, and innovative way of thinking. Client testimonial confirmed the launch as Thomson Reuters' finest ever party and a hugely entertaining and engaging night. Ditto then stretched the experience beyond the launch with a global campaign underpinned with the online platform The Future Forum, an exclusive online community linking key influential targets and guests from the launch party. Over the next 6 months and beyond, the forum has hosted monthly conversations and topics on the technical challenges facing the market. Exclusive intelligence and downloads continue to be made available to members, enhancing awareness about Electron and the products and services it offers. The launch, press coverage and increased profile of Electron has been the most successful in the history of the business. Targeted for further investment and as a big bet for 2011, Electron is a key growth area for Thomson Reuters.
All of the videos that I'm about to show are available on the website, so you can, if you want to see them afterwards, you can go there. So aside from the launch event, I just wanted to kind of explain what we did there. So there is the big launch event, and that was all glitz and glamour, and you could see all the kind of the icing and the shebang that came with that. But really the project and the success of the project was the fact that we were engaging with a number of distributed specialists that were globally distributed over a 6-month period, where what we did was we stretched the experience of that launch event and captured intelligence at it and distributed that intelligence within a campaign, an engagement campaign, over a 6-month period. We did this, and again, because that was quite a long project for us, but we did this and we allowed them to understand how to do it, and then we handed it on to them to carry on doing it. So that although Thomson Reuters remains one of our clients, what we did was create this platform. We created an event for them. We created the assets, the video, the live experience, the physical print, the intelligence that then fed the night, the launch night, and then could be repurposed and carried on going throughout the 6 months engagement campaign. Does that make sense? Yes.
How did you measure the return on investment?
Sorry?
how did you measure the return on investment on this project?
How did we measure it?
Yeah.
It was measured in a couple of ways. One, it was measured in the for the launch event, all of the kind of key indicators and around who came, how many came, quantity, although quantity was a small factor, who came, and the press information generated after that. After that, the return on investment is then who engaged over the 6-month period, all their activity. So this was kind of the, you know, who was actually doing all the writing, who was engaged, who did we move from being a passive person to an ambassador of the Future Forum, who then, and then the major return on investment was, where did business come out of it? So this wasn't just about an engagement campaign. This was leading to sales. So then that was then the other measures of their investment.
Was there any cross-cultural adaptation that had to be done?
No, no. I mean, you know,
It was all neutral.
it was all neutral. I mean, all of that, because we're dealing with a global community, all of that has to be thought through. And what you don't want to do, because you know a lot of our projects have happened in the Middle East, or where there's a good percentage of the people based in the Middle East. Now, even in that geographical area, you go from North Africa to India to kind of, and you will see a kind of, you know, even just culturally, you will see a shift. But so you have to make it as neutral as possible. It would be very problematic if it chimed or offended, goodness me, offended with a certain sector of the community, because you're going to just turn them off. And if this is about an engagement campaign, that's the last thing you want to happen. So that's Thomson Reuters. I'm going to move on to Renew. This is another project. You may see these. So if you go into the city, you may see this.
At Renew, we believe that the more relevant you are, the less you need to shout. Renew is a new kind of on-the-go media, a channel and a network that connects brands and content daily with the most valuable demographic, the 500,000 professionals that make up the City of London, the financial centre of the world. Our 200 screens allow brands to deliver meaningful information that captures the attention of city professionals by adding value to their lives, bringing the connectivity of the office to the street. This community won't listen if you shout. They demand quality content for their mindshare. Content that is real-time and relevant to them. We house all this on the city's beautifully designed recycling points. Love the city, take care of the world. Renew's dedicated planning and editorial team follows events, breaking news as it happens, and sharing content from our amazing array of partners. Our Renew network gives quality brands exclusive access to the high net worth individuals that matter most, cutting through the noise to get your message across. Pervasive branding that connects, resonates, displays thought leadership, and adds purpose to your message. Renew. You don't have to shout when people want to listen.
So this is an actual asset that we built for Renew. Renew are the pods, which consist of a recycling unit and 2 screens on a network. So what Renew have created is within the City of London and now further afield a broadcast mechanism. There is no advertising allowed in the city, in the square mile. There's no billboards. All advertising is either on taxis or buses, or now on these pods. This new broadcast channel is an amazing addition to that. They're now we're just launching them into Wall Street and into Singapore. The assets that we built here, this was this is our general video for them. We also build videos and pitch books and brochures to allow them to sell airtime to agencies. So to allow them to sell to media buyers. So, and again, if you go to the Ditto website, you can see some examples of that type of work. What I forgot to mention, it's the teams that build these, so that it's very clear that there is a video team that built this. The previous example, in fact, let me stop there. Actually, when I show you the next one, I'll then talk about the teams. So that's Renew. It was a business-to-business communication campaign because we were selling Renew to agencies, and particularly to agencies who media buy, who bought advertising space through on various media channels. Does everybody understand that? Let's move on. My channels.
The rate and scale of change in the markets has never been greater. As emerging web standards and mobile connectivity redefine the way enterprises operate, those that react fastest will gain the competitive advantage. Secure, reliable, low-latency messaging across an ever-growing range of platforms and devices is a key challenge to business. One message delivered over myriad channels. My Channels is a specialist technology-led business providing world-leading messaging solutions. We speak both the language of business and the language of technology and understand how one grows the other. My Channels Nirvana is the market-leading unified messaging platform, delivering the gold standard of secure, real-time unified messaging across enterprise, web, and mobile. Our decades of frontline experience in the most competitive of markets has been fundamental in the design and realization of My Channels Nirvana. We know your messaging needs are not best met with bolt-on solutions. Our unified messaging innovation is to provide enterprise-grade functionality through all channels and across all platforms, providing unparalleled flexibility, scalability, and performance. My Channels Nirvana is a single enterprise-grade foundation that delivers with speed, reduces human latency, and is future-proofed for tomorrow's innovations. For over a decade, My Channels Nirvana has driven business for clients by unlocking the value of data with simple, singular messaging, allowing our customers to focus on doing what they do best, delivering exceptional offerings and services to their customers. Our technology has enabled our customers to achieve leading market.
I'm just going to turn that down a little bit in the background. So this is the video asset that we built as part of a campaign for My Channels over a 12-month period. As you can tell, it's very complicated. It is middle technicalware that banks use to kind of justify, not justify, but to kind of confirm their foreign exchange trading. So it's very, very technical. This lived as part of a campaign. It lived in a website. It had thought leadership white papers. It had brochures, and it also had. It was also part of a lecture and conference series that the guys who run the company kind of undertook. So all of the teams in Ditto were involved in that. So editorial were involved in the scripting. The video team were involved in the storyboarding and the creation of the videos. But this is an example of how graphic design came involved in the videos. So all the iconography, all the infographics were created by the video team and then handed on to the animation team who then animated it. And then you can't see there was the digital design team who then created the campaign microsites where all of this information was housed. On top of that, we did have press ads and we got editorial for the company. So it's all, so that is an example of how we went about, how the whole of Ditto went about to facilitate this campaign. What I'm next going to show you is slightly different. I'd love to show you it.
The word on the ministry street.
Okay, it was a very dark evening. Let me show you this one instead.
Yeah! Yes! Travis Barker, K! You ready? Let's go!
This is a premiere for the Lucozade advert. Can I just say before we start, it was an honour to be part of it. All the Lucozade adverts have always been very historic, very epic and very legendary. And on this advert, I had the opportunity to work with Travis Barker, Katie, Taylor, and also Jake Nava, which was pretty incredible. So I had a lot of fun. I went all the way out to LA to do it, just to be in a dark tunnel just like this one. You guys will see exactly what I mean in a minute. But yeah, I mean, it's pretty cool. You know, Jake done an amazing job. Everybody that participated really, really did an amazing job. So without further ado, enjoy guys. See you in a minute. As a performer, you know, it's all about having, like, being really fit and having endurance and stuff like that. And I idolize, you know, people that can sort of have stamina and work really hard and keep fit.
Let's go!
So, Lucozade, obviously a consumer product. So, where does this fit with us? So we didn't do the Lucozade. We were involved in helping the agency. We were involved on the night of setting it up and filming it and doing all that kind of stuff. But we were asked by the agency who did do the event to put together an example of the night, to capture the night, put it together, so they could then take it and communicate it to the top agency and Lucozade to show them what they were doing and how they went about doing it. The other video that was very dark was the other part of the Yes campaign, which was the girls on the roller skates. I don't know if you remember that one, the Lucozade ad. And again, we did a launch event at the Ministry of Sound on that one. So one of them, that one was at the Old Vic Tunnels, and the other one was at the Ministry of Sound. And again, what we were doing, we were communicating to a business, capturing the event and explaining what was happening. So this was one asset that lived in a body of work. So that is all our client, that is examples, it's not all our client-facing work, that is examples of our client-facing work. I just want to now move on to our cultural work. And this is non-client facing, so this is work that lives within Ditto, but is as important as our client-facing work. Some of you, has anybody been to Ditto? Has anybody been to our campfire events, Marvel? So, forgive me, one of the examples will be campfire. I'll just explain. Ditto started as an arts collaboration, so that culture is really important to us. And we have kept that central to what this studio does. And this is I'm going to show you some examples of this cultural program that we run. Campfire is a monthly event put together stage. It's a monthly event, happens every third Thursday of every month. Upstairs, and we always do it upstairs, in our studio. We turn our studio into an auditorium where people have the opportunity to present, a bit like this. We sometimes have demos. Downstairs, we turn our collaboration space, which is our boardroom, we turn the table into an exhibition space using the tabletops, and we also have an exhibition that's usually related to the Campfire event. So that is one of our main things. Our next Campfire is next Thursday, and it is Matt Black, who is the founder of Ninja Tunes and Cold Cut, who are just based around the corner, Ninja Tunes, and he's coming to talk about his work. So if you would like to come along, it's very popular, and I need to know numbers, so if you'd like to come along, just come and grab me, and I'll take an email off you. So that's Campfire. So then we have another element of our cultural output that Chris is involved in. Part of that cream of the crop is, as I said, Chris. Chris does a regular show on Radio Ditto. So this is a way that we show our clients that we can do this type of work. What does that mean? Radio Ditto lives as part of our website. So it's a bit like iPlay, not iPlay, the BBC website. You can download a pop-up window and a player and have that going on your desktop. But where it's consumed, for the majority of it, is consumed as an app, a Radio Ditto app, where all the shows that we produce, and there were some examples there, are available on demand. So we also program it on a weekly and monthly basis, so that there's a turnover of streaming of music, as well as the monthly shows that turn over. And Chris is one less of a monthly show, but a regular show. So you need to listen to it. It's part of the Fireside Favourites. So if you go into the Fireside Favourites section, you can find Chris there.
It won't be under me.
I never said that. That's part of the thrill of finding you. So here's another one of our projects.
Your heart begin to bruise. Ain't you got a taste for violence, violence? And from the city's flaming signs to the future, every riot, black and cold as a silence, silence. Give it white light, give it white light.
Sunrise is an online film festival we do in collaboration with another university, Norwich University College of the Arts, and their film and their animation students, their graduating students. We enter them into a competition where we get kind of online votes, and they get a critic's choice. So there's a kind of mixture of public votes and public advertisement, as well as kind of critics' choice, which is selected by the creative director and other heads of at Ditto. one of the reasons why this is important is that in terms of advertising your work, in terms of telling people what you are doing. So when the graduates leave, you will enter a marketplace, and you have to be able to learn to advertise yourself and to put forward your best foot, your best work, and be able to tell people that. So this, very much from our point of view, is one of the reasons we set that up to allow. And we did it with University of College of Arts because we've got a relationship with that university up there. But it was very much allowing the students to get that first step within a professional environment. Does that make sense?
And foreign students allowed, like online students?
I'm afraid it's done with knowledge. It's only done with that university. We'll do another one. We'll make another festival.
Yeah.
So that's sunrise. We're getting towards the end. This is sunset. This is our online music festival. We're in our second year this year. We work in collaboration with college courses, School of Sound and others, and community music projects in East London, or kind of North and East London. A very similar premise. The work is put out there for a public vote and as a critic's choice. Everyone gets awards. We have a celebration at the end of it. All of it again, all of these and information on past festivals is all on the Ditto website. The other thing, two other things. Everybody in Ditto has to write a blog. We publish 3 blogs a week. So there's a huge turnover of information that we are blogging about. This is really important for Ditto. This is all about showing that Ditto is kind of culturally relevant, and it also allows all members of the team, so from tech team, including my own, and confession, I have missed my deadline, which is yesterday. I got told off this morning. So my deadline for my blog was yesterday, and I didn't do it. Luckily somebody stepped in and helped me out from my team, but I have to deal with that. I have to write the next one for our team, so it's really important. And all the blogs are either have some cultural significance, what's happening in London, in the world right now, or and kind of show to our clients and to everybody just, I suppose, what interesting people we might be. And then finally we have, I'm going to check that in a second, finally we have a record label. And again, it's a small record label, and we put out our first release. A lot of our work is, all the work that we're doing at the moment, a lot of the work is remixes, or our own kind of reworkings of existing tracks. You've heard the White Stripe one, which is ours, that's been backing some of these videos. We released our first track on iTunes, which was by a Dublin-based band. The majority of the work is either on YouTube or on our SoundCloud channel, so you can check all the mixes out. We did an Adele Rolling in the Deep mix that was before just after her first release of the single came out, and it's very, very popular. It's very different from the original, but it's very popular. So we've got a record label. We've got lots of talent in Ditto, so we made a music video for our first release, and it got shortlisted for Best Music Video from the Los Angeles International TV Festival. But unfortunately we didn't have it. So here it is. Oh, I'm lying.
Okay, we're running a bit behind time. Any quick questions at all?
Because you do so many different facets to your business, how do you stop, because obviously a business that has one client and carries on with that client, they know how they work, but how do you stop from getting too overflowing with too many different things going on at once? See what I mean? You don't understand what I mean?
Well, because we're a project-based business.
But say if you had how do you determine one project's more important than another project?
No project. I mean, none of our projects are more important than one another. All we do is place them in a...
They all have deadlines, that's what I mean.
They all have deadlines.
So when you've got them, one projects don't always go to plan, do they? So they come sometimes...
Yeah, I mean, it has to be said on the whole project, we haven't had too many projects, very few projects actually, that we've had problems with. Deadlines may extend for whatever reason. But, there is a planning and kind of project management process that looks after all the projects. each project has what's called a production plan that lives alongside it. That plan is given to the client, so the client understands deadlines. We have an overall one, and so we understand this is going to be happening then, this is going to be happening then. We need to get this finished because we've got a really big one happening here. Sorry, and that does include our cultural stuff as well.
Yeah,
that goes,
because you've got so much going on. And
yeah, it's just another project. It's just literally another project.
Your B2B business, how do you make sure that your campaign gets to the right channels in your in the business you're targeting?
That's part of the kind of the beginning of the kind of scoping out of the project. We sit down with the client. We understand what they want to achieve. You know, how do they want to achieve it? Is it is press the best way of doing it? Is social media? Is it a kind of a multi-platform approach in terms of maybe all of these things at the same time? And that's done right at the beginning when we're kind of scoping out the premise of the campaign. And it will be very much a conversation of strategically and business-wise, what do you want out of this?
You're targeting a second business that you're selling the first business to. Do you actually go and speak to the CEO?
Yes,
you
so
send
so
them
that
mail?
now we don't necessarily get involved in actually speaking, because what we do is we have a client and they want to speak to 1 or 4 or 20 businesses. So we will help them have all the campaign assets to allow them to do that. Now, because some of our not mine, but other people in Ditto's backgrounds are from the financial sector, we are actually quite involved in a lot of introductions, and so we help our clients, because we work at a strategic level, to do that type of selling. But that's a kind of that might happen or might not happen depending on the client and what they're trying to do.
So basically, you equip their sales team.
Exactly. What we do is we look to create a campaign to shorten the sales cycle, to bring marketing and sales closer together.
Okay, I think you'll stand for the next.
If you want me, I've spoken a lot.